Being a housewife is not a reward. Being a woman of leisure is a reward.
But that's the same thing.
No, they're not. No, they're not. If you're a woman of leisure, if you are a woman of leisure, you don't have responsibilities. Your responsibility is being a woman of leisure. If you are a housewife, you maintain and you manage the house. That's not a fucking reward. It's a job. Whether it's only 20 hours a week, it's still a job. If you trying to reward me because I was there through the tough times, let me be a woman of leisure. Let me be a kept woman. That is a reward. Rewarding me with washing dishes is not a fucking reward.
I'm no expert. Thank you for waiting patiently, ma'am. What are your initial thoughts upon hearing that audio?
Hi, Noble. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm well. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me on, and please excuse my voice. I'm just getting over being sick.
Yeah, it's all good.
And yes, I waited patiently because I've seen a lot of your lives, and it does open up a lot of discussion. So I wanted to jump on. First of all, I'm going to come in very respectful. I'm not going to get hot and heated and yelling and screaming and all of that nonsense that a lot of people like to do. So I'm going to start off with that. I do recognize that a lot of your followers are young, some who, date and may have been married or may not have been married. Most, I'm thinking, are like in their early 20s to late 20s and 30s. Probably yourself in your 30s, if I'm correct.
No, I'm 20. I'm in my mid. I turned 26 next Sunday.
Okay, baby. So I am a 47-year-old woman who has lived every aspect of what you're talking about in this particular live. I can speak to exactly what she is talking about in that clip that you played. Now, first and foremost, most of us don't tend to listen to everything that is being said in those clips and those little blurbs. We just pick out the parts that kind of trigger us emotionally. So that last part, you keep harping on the fact that she says it's not a fucking, what did she say?
Reward.
Yeah,
it says
reward. Okay.
Reward washing dishes.
Okay. So due to the fact that most of you are very, very young, you've not had the experience of being married. I've had the experience of being married not once, but twice. Once in my early 20s, and again in my early to mid 30s. Still currently married. So, and I also grew up in a household where I had both my mother and my father. The misunderstanding that a lot of the youth have, especially in today, is that you have to be rich in order to be a woman of leisure. My stepmother, I should say, was a woman of leisure. However, my father was a working class man. He provided a household in which my mother was able to work when she wanted to. Now, my father, he was ex-military, he was ex-Navy. So, he had some benefits from being a Navy man, but he also, when he got out, he worked. He worked at DuPont. He worked at, he was also a chef. So he did catering on a decommissioned warship in Charleston, South Carolina. So my father always worked a regular job, made regular money. We were, mid to lower middle class. So we weren't balling out of control. We weren't, living a high life or anything, but my father provided a comfortable life for us. My mother, he was also a minister, and my mother was an evangelist. So the bulk of the responsibilities that my mother had in the household was to do what she had to do with the church. Now, she taught us how to maintain the household. She cooked a little bit here, she cleaned a little bit there. She taught us as the daughters in the household how to maintain. So I know how to cook, I know how to clean, I know how to take care of a man, I know how to take care of a household. I had to learn how to take care of children later on in my married life. And I was even a single mother for a very long time. My first child, I was a single parent. And then I met, my second child's father. So I bust every stereotype that everybody is yelling and screaming about on this God's internet. So getting into the part where this young lady is making a distinction between being a housewife
Mm-hmm.
and being a woman of leisure. That's the part that y'all are missing. She said, if you want to reward me
Mm-hmm.
for being with you through the tough times, meaning she worked, she cooked, she cleaned, she took care of the children, she did it. So now that you've reached this pinnacle of success as my husband and you've reached that level of income, it is now not still a reward for me to still be cooking and cleaning and changing dirty diapers and, vacuuming, cleaning toilets. It's not, that's not a reward for me after having worked beside you as your wife, as your helpmeet. That's the distinction she was making. She was like, okay, now that you've reached this level, sit me down and let me just chill, because I've now had to function in both my masculine and my.
You just muted. You just muted.
Sorry, my phone is
Oh,
like pausing itself if I don't touch it every so often.
it's okay.
Okay, so what I was saying is now what she's saying is, now after I've struggled with you and fought the good fight, and you've now reached this level of financial stability where you can make it so that I can, not have to do all of these hardcore things in the household. Please, let me be a woman of leisure. The mistake that people are making when they hear this is that they think everybody just wants to live this, this lap of luxury life. Yes, like the other gentleman was saying, that in this uh era of social media, a lot of the young girls are seeing girls getting flown out, this, that, and the third, and all of these Birkin bags, and jewelry, this, that, and the third. That's
Right.
that's the image that y'all have created as youth, not
Right.
the image that we and the people in my generation were living and are living.
I
Now,
can agree to that.
that being said, um, there were a few things that I heard in some of your discussions that just kind of were like, wow, no, baby, no. Um, the thing that y'all are seeing on social media is a phenomenon. It's not anything that we are actually dealing with in reality. So what the other thing these young ladies are seeing is the struggle that the women of my generation went through with struggling with a man and building and growing with a man. They're seeing the things that their aunties went through. They're seeing the things that their grandmothers went through. That they see both sides of it. So they are now like, I ain't trying to do what my mom had to do to struggle to, with my pops to get to this point. I ain't trying to do what my auntie did, with the struggle to get to that point. I ain't trying to deal with all the nonsense that my grandma had to deal with. You guys to come to me with something, more than that, because I'm not trying to go through all of that. So there's a paradigm that, the women of your generation, the millennials and the 20s and Gen Zs and all, are now seeing, and they're not wanting to have that struggle. Like I said, I'm a 47-year-old woman,
Mm-hmm.
right? Married twice. My current situation, and I've dated across all boards. So to answer those questions that you were talking about, I've dated white men, I've dated Asian men, I've dated black men, and I'm currently married to a Puerto Rican man.
Mm-hmm.
So I've dealt with other cultures and see how they operate. The only one of those races that does not understand that it is a man's position to protect and provide that life where a woman is able to function in her feminine is the black man. And I understand why our men are that way. The unfortunate thing is that y'all have not been in the position that a lot of others have. I've dated all of them. I've dated all of them, baby. And you can laugh if you want. Like I said, I'm being very respectful, and I'm coming to you on the real
No,
because
you're
I've
being very respectful.
experienced it.
Yeah, you're being very respectful.
And I've experienced it firsthand. Okay. My father's a black man. So I love my black man. My father was a good black man as far as it came to taking care of our household. He made sure we had what we needed. And in that, what I am saying is that I feel for you, brothers. I really, really and truly do. But I need y'all to understand that if, as black women, we had been in a better position, we wouldn't be as hardcore about y'all stepping up as we are now. Okay. Now, to speak to the children and raising the family part of it, and why baby girl on that end was like, it's not a fucking reward.
Right.
I have 2 children of my own that I gave birth to.
Mm-hmm.
My husband has 5 children from his first wife, his first marriage. So I raised 7 children. And baby, when I tell you that because y'all are not in the home, yeah, y'all go out to work, but because you are not in the home and see day in and day out all that it takes to raise children and function, have the functional household, y'all may go to work for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, however many hours you do, and then come home, y'all get to sit down. We make it so that y'all can sit down, have a beer, watch your sports, play your video games, and y'all pretty much get to just chill when y'all get home. It's a 24-hour job for us. It never stops. I had 7. And my baby boy was autistic. So you do not know all that it takes and drains on us all day, every day, and twice on Sunday to take care of that household. So when she's saying the distinction, again, she was making a distinction of I've done ride or die with you. Now you reach that level. Let me sit down because damn it, I'm tired. And a lot of us have at least 2, 3, 4 kids. That's a lot of fucking work. Excuse my language. It's a lot of fucking work. And yes, you go to work and we thank you, we love you, we appreciate you for it. But baby, we telling you we tired. As Black women, we have carried everything and everyone, not just our children, not just our husbands, not just the people at our work, the white women that's driving us crazy and making our lives hell. We then have to come home and do even more nonstop. So what she is saying is, for me now, me to have to come home and still have to cook, clean toilets, do hair, do little girls' hair, help with homework, do all of these other things on a constant basis, get baths together, make lunches, do all of these things. Yes, it's a domestic thing that we are predisposed and programmed to do.
Yeah.
But we don't always want to have to do it all day, every day, and again, twice on Sunday. So no, it's not that we want y'all to just work yourselves into the ground. And keep in mind, going back to the household that I was raised in, my father worked 2 jobs and my mother barely did much. She was a woman of leisure. She was able to work when she wanted to and do what she had to do for the church. My house was peaceful, harmonious. I never saw my parents argue. I never saw my parents fuss. I've never heard a cross word between my parents my entire life. My household lived in harmony. My dad loved being able to go to work and provide for his family. He came home, he still spent time with us. He still, took us on trips. He still did all of the things that, a husband is thought to do. So I saw it work. And again, he didn't make a lot of money. We did the work. Me and my sister did most of the housework. My mom was out doing what she had to do with the church. So I've seen it work. And if y'all take the time to sit back and listen to what women are actually saying, they're really not asking for as much as you think you are. A lot of it has just shifted because women have gotten so tired. They're just tired of building and growing. And I've seen this happen too. A woman spend her life building and growing and helping that man grow his business, and then he take it and give it to another woman, and he screwing this chick and that chick and the other chick on the side. Mm-hmm. So that's why women have gotten sick of the idea of building and growing with a man, because they don't want to be played for dummies after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I said a lot. I know I said a mouthful, but like I said, I've lived every aspect of it. I'm living every aspect of it. It's no easy task to especially have to deal with children with health issues in the home. Again, my son being autistic, I have to spend hours at a time just getting him to eat real food. Then turn around and teach my baby girl how to read. Then turn around and deal with my 13-year-old having a meltdown because some boy don't like her. Then have to teach my 14-year-old how to maintain proper hygiene as a female. I have 6 girls and 1 boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of fucking work. That's a lot of emotions to manage. That's a lot of uh 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 little feelings that you have to take into consideration. And I do it all. My husband goes to work and then comes home, and I still got to do my wifely duties, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know how tired I am.
Yeah.
Now,
So.
granted, my 2 oldest children are adults.
Mm-hmm.
But they still call on mom. I got a 30-year-old that's still calling on mom. I got a 25-year-old that's in college, and we still paying her tuition and rent
Mm-hmm.
and her bills to make sure that she can follow her dreams. So it's really pulling on us as women more so than you know. And we're not asking you to go out and conquer the world and then come home and do even more. We're asking for a little help because we see it as a partnership. So it's not that we're not happy as a working mother and then got to come home and cook and clean and do all of that, and then we're still not happy as a woman that just is at home and doing all this. It's a lot of fucking work no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that distinction she was making is after I've been the ride or die, after I've worked and cooked and cleaned and done all of that and made those transitions through those stages. Okay, baby, now please, now that we've reached this pinnacle, now that we've reached this point, sit me down and let me be a woman of leisure. Don't make me still have me out here cleaning toilets and changing diapers and I still got to breastfeed and do all of this other bullshit.
Okay. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I heard. I just want to. I just want to rebuttal to some of the things you said, and then give you an
Okay.
opportunity to rebuttal. Then I'll move on. So
Sure, no problem.
when I be talking about like these, because you be in my lives, and obviously you engage with my content a lot. Like I be seeing you when I look. I be seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
You be going back and forth with like a lot of different people, but
Mm-hmm.
when I be talking about like women not being interested in like building with men,
Mm-hmm.
like it's the woman that I talk to on here,
Mm-hmm.
the woman that I talk to on here off of this app, the woman that I know, the black woman that I know off of this app, they all
Mm-hmm.
say the same thing. And when you talked about the whole, we saw what our mothers and our aunties and our grandmothers and all of them went through, that's the same thing that
Mm-hmm.
all of them say. But what's
So if all of
happening?
them are saying it, why aren't you hearing them?
No, I'm hearing them.
They not trying to get played no more.
I understand that, but listen, what's going on with the women in my age range is that they don't even want to deal with a man that's on the same socioeconomic status level as them these days. Like I always
Okay,
say
and I'll
this,
tell you why.
the
They
woman
had
that's
everything handed to them.
the
They
No, no,
had
no.
the
everything
Hold on,
handed to
baby.
them.
Hold on. This is
the
a
one
one-on-one. This
the
is a
woman
one-on-one.
the woman that's gonna be at Target in Walmart tonight,
It's saying my
working
phone is
from
overheating.
working from
I'm sorry,
11 to
baby.
7, stocking the shelves. She don't want to deal with the dude that's in as at the opposite Walmart and Target of the city doing the same thing. She don't want to deal with the guy that's like pushing the carts there. The woman that work at McDonald's drive-through, she don't want to deal with the guy that work at the McDonald's or the Taco Bell drive-through. They on the same socioeconomic status, but they don't want to deal with each other. She don't want to build. She don't want to build with that man. And then she, like that woman that's gonna be at Target and Walmart tonight. She wants a attorney working in big law in New York. She wants a man working in corporate finance. She wants a surgeon. She wants a physician. Come back. I'm no expert. She wants that
You
type of.
echoing.
You said what? She wants that type of man. And then when you talk about the whole men going to work and coming home and um you know uh cracking open a beer and just watching TV and playing the game, I didn't grow up in a household like that. I can, even though I've never seen it personally, I'm sure that it's a real thing because I've heard people say it's a real thing, but I didn't grow up in a household like that. Like when my dad, he went to go get his master's, and then my mom went to go get her master's. When my dad was in school getting his master's, my mom was the one primarily taking care of my sisters and I, because this man was going to work during the day and going to school at night. My mom was the one taking me to basketball practice, football practice. My mom was the one taking me to my basketball tournaments. She was more so hands-on with us during that time. When my dad finished and my mom went to school, my dad was the one that was more so hands-on with my sisters and I during that time. My dad cooked for my sisters and I. My dad took us to our dentist appointments, took us to our doctor's appointments. So when y'all be out here talking about, like, if you're in a relationship to where a man is doing literally nothing but going to work and coming home and doing nothing, he's not helping with the household duties at all. Why are you even in a relationship with that man? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I've never seen that in my personal home, and I've never seen that in any of my extended family's homes either. Maybe it's just a cultural thing, but I have never ever seen that a day in life. So I don't know where that is coming from. But for two, and then you talked about, I don't know if you're gonna come back if you're still in here, if your phone died. The last thing I'm gonna touch on that you said is the whole um, living a life of luxury, and you said how your dad didn't make it that much money, but your mom was still able to live a certain way. I bet she was. It's not it's 2023 today. However much money your dad was making back then, it could probably suffice the lifestyle for you and your siblings and your household. That's not what it is today. Black men and black women are still not making a lot of money today. They're making $42,000 on average in this country, a little under $42,000 on average. So the reality is that, not again, 99% of you black women, you're not going to be sitting down. You're not going to be living no life of luxury. You are going to be working, and you are going to be contributing financially to whatever household arrangement you have. So hopefully you get with a man that he has a job where he got a retirement plan and you got a retirement plan. Hopefully y'all maxing it out. Hopefully y'all can get a home and pay and eventually pay off your home and obtain other assets. But that's what the reality is going to be for 99% of y'all. So this whole living a life of luxury and this, that, and the third, you're not going to be living a life of luxury. 99% of black men are not going to be living a life of luxury. They're going to be working too. A lot of us are going to be working to retirement. And my whole thing is, if you want to live a certain type of way as a woman, why don't you put in the work and empower yourself to be able to live whatever type of lifestyle that you want? Y'all aren't talking about that. Y'all are talking about what a man should be doing for you, or what he can and can't do for you. Like, what does that say about you? Y'all, like I said, y'all spend all this time on social media. Y'all be on the shade room looking at all these baby mamas and girlfriends and wives of these athletes, and that's not gonna be 99% of y'all. Like, just get it out of your head. You never seen that in real life. You never been around that type of energy, and 99% of y'all are not going to be around that type of energy. So hopefully you go to school. Hopefully you go to school and get a degree in something worth getting, and you get out of school and you go get a good job somewhere where you can make some decent money. And hopefully you find a man that loves you genuinely, and y'all figure it out and make it work. Because that's what the reality is going to be for y'all. Whether y'all like it or not. Y'all can stay on the internet. Y'all can look at Ari. Y'all can look at Jada. Y'all can look at Tanya. Y'all can look at all these different women. That's not going to be you. And I said what I said. I say it all the time. That's not gonna be you. It has never been you. Some of y'all be in your mid-30s, y'all be in your early 30s, late 30s, early 40s, still thinking you about to live a certain way or get a certain caliber of man. You're not. If you're not getting that man in your early or mid-20s, forget about it. But I'm gonna leave it there. I don't know what happened to her.